Ever since the first Intercity Express service launched in 1991, the ice trains have become an iconic and world-famous part of Germany's rail network. To celebrate 30 years of the service, I decided to showcase 5 of the different ice train variants we currently have in Train Simulator. The trains that we'll feature in this video are the Deutsche Bahn BR401 or ICE 1, the BR402 or ICE 2, the BR406 or ICE 3M, the BR411 or ICE T, and lastly the BR605 or ICE TD. Notably, the ICE TD is the only diesel-powered member of this family. First up is the DB BR401 or ICE 1. Of course, these are the first generation of ice trains. These units were built by Siemens and first entered service in 1991, initially running between Hamburg-Altona and Wolfsburg Hauptbahnhof. 60 of these trains were built, and they are typically made up of 2 power cars with 12 passenger coaches. Top speed of the ICE 1 sets is 280 km per hour. Sadly, the career of these trains has not been without tragedy. In June 1998, one of the ICE 1 sets derailed near the town of Eschede, between Hanover and Hamburg, after the rim of a broken wheel got caught in a set of points. 101 people were killed in the disaster, and to this day it remains the worst railway disaster in Germany's history. This memorial garden, which Deutsche Bahn helped fund, was opened in 2001, a year after an earlier memorial which was built by Udo Bauch, a survivor of the derailment. In addition to celebrating 30 years of the ice trains, this video is also dedicated to the memory of the people who lost their lives in the Eschede derailment. Fortunately, mistakes have been learned from the Eschede disaster, and the wheels across the ice train variants are now much safer. This blue, white and yellow electric locomotive is the Metronome ME146. I put it here in order to get back down through Eschede and onto Celle, where we'll meet an ICE 2 set. Metronom Eisenbahngesellschaft is a semi-state-owned railway company. They operate regional passenger services out of Hamburg to places such as Bremen, Lüneburg and Hanover. Their 29-strong fleet of ME-146 electric locomotives were built by Bombardier as part of their Trax family between 2005 and 2010. The company also has 8 ME-246 diesels, which were built in 2007. Those engines are used on the Hamburg to Cuxhaven run. And upon arrival in Celle, we return to the main subject of this video. This is the DB-BR402, or ICE-2, the second generation of ICE trains. 46 of these units were built by AdTrans and Siemens between 1995 and 1997, and they consist of 8 coaches. Curiously, the ICE-2 trains only have one power car, with the BR808 cab car at the other end of the 6-car consist. These trains have a top speed of 280 km per hour, just like the ICE-1s. Although these trains can go up to 280 km per hour, they are restricted to a maximum speed of 200 km per hour on the Hamburg to Hanover section. On a personal note, Hamburg to Hanover was one of the 3 routes that I got when I first bought Train Simulator, all the way back in December 2013. Back then, the game was called Train Simulator 2014. Now that we've arrived at Grossberg-Wedel, we'll move on to the ICE-3 and ICE-3M. This is the original DB-BR403 or ICE-3. Because it isn't in Train Simulator, I've had to use the Train Sim World 2 version instead. Curiously, Dovetail, back then they called themselves RSC, only made the ICE-3M version when they did the original ICE-3 add-on for Train Simulator back in 2012. The ICE-3 trains were built by Siemens and first entered service in 1999. 50 of them are the base BR403 or ICE-3 variant, while another 17 are of the BR406 or ICE-3M variant. There's also the BR407 or new ICE-3, and although that train has been made for Train Simulator, I haven't got it. These original units can only run domestic services in Germany, which, for reference, uses 15 kV AC overhead wires as its standard railway electrification system. And on that note, let's move over to Strasbourg in France to see the Ice 3M. This is the DB-BR406, or Ice 3M, a unit that's very similar to the base Ice 3, except this one is equipped to run on at least 4 different electrification systems. As such, the Ice 3M is able to run in Germany, France, the Netherlands and Belgium. The Ice 3M is also featured in Train Sim World 2 as part of the Schnellfahrstrecke Köln route, representing part of a Frankfurt am Main to Brussels service. You can also drive this train on the Nachwerke Dresden route, as seen here, and if anyone's curious, that diesel locomotive off to the left is a DB BR363. Here we see an Ice 3M trundling past Dresden-Freiburger Strasse, a station that is only served by S-Bahn services on the S1 and S2 lines. If you're interested, I do have a separate video that focuses entirely on this station, which you can check out through the link in the top right corner. And now we come to the DB BR411, or Ice T, captured while sitting at Frankfurt am Main Flughafen Fernbahnhof. These units were built by Siemens and Alstom in the 1990s, and first entered service in 1999. The version that we have in Train Simulator is the 7-car BR411, but there's also a 5-car version in real life, which is designated as the DB BR415. Unfortunately, the Ice T sounds in Train Simulator are completely inaccurate, as DTG just reused the sounds from the Ice 3M. As pointed out by fellow YouTuber Maverick Daniel, the Ice 3 and Ice T sound completely different from each other in real life. Last but not least, we come to the DB BR605 or Eschede. These are unique in that they are diesel multiple units, whereas all the other ICE trains are straight electric. Incidentally, the Eschede units do still use electric traction motors. In fact, they have a lot of things in common with the ICT. For instance, both designs have a tilting mechanism. Bombardier and Siemens collaborated to build 20 of these 4-car DMUs between 1998 and 2000. They were often used on international services between Berlin and Copenhagen, the capital cities of Germany and Denmark respectively. These services often ran via Hamburg. Unfortunately, the Eschede trains were never particularly reliable, and they had all been retired by 2018. Incidentally, Deutsche Bahn still use one Eschede set as a test train. Unit number 17 started running as a test train in early 2019. Here we see an Eschede arriving at Bad Oldesloe on the Hamburg to Lübeck route. And by the way, that diesel locomotive in the foreground is a DB BR218. The Danish IC3 units are also used on the Hamburg to Copenhagen runs. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. It was honestly a lot of fun to put together, especially since I hardly ever get to use the routes that you saw in this video. I do intend to make more videos like this in the future, so stay tuned if you like that sort of thing. For reference, the routes that I've used as filming locations for this video were München to Garmisch-Partenkirchen, München to Rosenheim, Hamburg to Hanover, Hamburg to Lübeck, Bahnstrecke Strasbourg to Karlsruhe, and Frankfurt to Koblenz.